In case we have any new members here, I would like to invite you to greet us. And looking at our list, looks like most of us are Toastmasters. I can share our club mission as Kampala Executives, and as Toastmasters, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Again, if you're new to Kampala Executives and you may want more information, this is the executive team. Please, if you see some of these names in the chat, do not hesitate to reach out to them in case you have any questions. Questions like, when do you meet? What are the activities? What are the advantages of joining Toastmasters? They will be more than happy to respond. I'd like to introduce our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Wilson Asiimwe, who is also the Division F Director. Toastmaster Wilson, you're welcome to take on the next steps. Over to you, Wilson.
Can you hear me? Madam President, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am so excited to be your Toastmaster. Thank you very much for choosing to be here. Today we have 2 other meetings in the country. And for you to choose to be here is such a great honor. Thank you very much for gracing this meeting. The theme of today's meeting is, it is you to blame. And you might ask yourself the question, why Wilson chose this theme. I was reflecting on the predicament that I faced about 8 years ago. During that time, I lost a mega project. Some of you might have heard this story before. I can never forget it, because this was a multi-billion project. It took me some time to win this project. For some of you who are consultants, you know that it's tough to win and take over control of such a project. What hurt me most was the fact that the people who sabotaged me were actually the people I had nurtured. They took control of the project and they left me struggling. It took me about 3 years to accept it and move on. It was tough. I left my hair to grow. Talking alone. I was like, people see me and think I was a mad person. But after some time, I sat down and remembered that some friends had warned me that I was working with a group of people that wasn't really supporting my goals. They were just trying to take away what I had put in place. In fact, they were what we call saboteurs. So I decided to blame myself. I said, Wilson, you are to blame. Even when they did something bad, you should have avoided it because you won. And in life, we have so many things to go through, so many experiences where we blame other people, but we had an opportunity to avoid that. Some people join Toastmasters and from its rich educational program, they start blaming other people. They talk about members as people who did not take care of them. But the fact is, it's a best program where you reap what you sow. If you work hard, you can actually achieve excellence. It's not impossible. When you think about some of the Toastmasters that we admire in this country, talk about Connie Shemerere, talk about Beverly, talk about Jesse, talk about Susan Kavuma, Paul Kavuma. All of them have worked hard to become top Toastmasters, to benefit from this experience. At this club, we have a Toastmaster called Patricia Pio. She has just joined the club, but she has been working so hard. She delivered 5 speeches in 1 month, and she became the first Toastmaster among all the new members to complete level 1 in record time. She was supposed to speak today, but she's not feeling well, although she's online. Why am I sharing this with you? I want to maintain that if we are to benefit from this Toastmasters experience, the program that is so rich, we have to push ourselves. Patricia almost sent me a message every day. I want to do this, find for me a slot. One day she wanted to speak. I had to go to Kisumu Toastmasters, looking for a slot for her because she wanted to complete level 1. And out of those 5 speeches, she was the best speaker at 3 club meetings. That means that she put in the work. It's not just trying to complete projects, but she worked hard. And I want to urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to work hard. Let's not blame anyone who can achieve excellence. We work hard. And now I want to introduce the role takers this evening that I'm going to work with to ensure that this meeting is seamless. Our first role taker is our grammarian, the current president of Kampala Toastmasters Club, Asiimwe. She's a very hard-working young lady. Please, Asiimwe, tell us about any situation where you thought you were to blame before you explain your role this evening. Over to you, Asiimwe.
Oh, wow. The situation I can remember is, thank you so much, Wilson, is a time when I was 23 years old and I was earning a heavy salary as an expatriate in a foreign country. And I quit that job to come and be a startup hustler. And I've been broke ever since. It is like, what was I thinking? So yeah, I blame myself sometimes because I didn't allow myself to grow, which made me grow through fire. Have grown through fire when I would have grown on a comfort zone. That is what I remember, where I self-sabotaged. My role today is as a grammarian. I'm so honored to be at Kampala Executives Toastmasters. The word of the day My role as a grammarian is to share with you the word of the day. And I would encourage you to use this word of the day in your speeches, in your conversations, and even beyond the Toastmasters. Carry this word outside there and incorporate it in your vocabulary. My other role will be to look out for the grammar. How well are we using the language? I will look out for the incomplete sentences, the wrongly said sentences, and the mispronunciations. Not to say that we want to catch you speaking wrong words, no, but our goal at Toastmasters is for growth. So we hope to grow even in our grammar, we hope to grow in our communication. So at the end of the meeting, when I'm called upon, I'll come and give the reports. So today our word of the day is malaise. Now, as the theme says that it is you to blame, sometimes we have this feeling of malaise, which is a feeling of being unwell, uneasy, uncomfortable, and we let it linger on for so long. We fail to find out what is the problem. Most times you'll ask someone and someone will say, I don't feel well, I don't know what's the problem. When we don't go to the root cause to find out what the cause of that malaise is, it is us sabotaging ourselves. So I would encourage you to use the word malaise. You can use it in a word, in a sentence like, I felt I experienced malaise last week, but I was able to snap out of it or to shake it off. For my example is, my example would be attending a Toastmasters meeting is definitely that cure for my malaise. So I look forward to not having any feeling of malaise or experiencing it from any member in today's meeting, because we are going to come along with that jubilation that we have in Toastmasters meeting. Thank you very much, and over to you, Toastmaster of the evening. President, I think we lost Wilson. Over to you, President Elizabeth.
Okay, thank you very much, President Shamim, for ably explaining your role and sharing some examples that we can draw on. As we wait for Wilson, I'd like to invite the timer, Yasin, to tell us about his role and what he's expecting from the meeting. Over to you, Yasin.
Thank you very much, President Elizabeth. Fellow Toastmasters and our guests, good evening and welcome to this wonderful meeting. Tonight I'll be your timer, and as your timer, I'll be timing the table topics, the formal speeches, and evaluation using 3 cards, which I'm about to share. That will be I will be for formal speeches. I believe the speech we have today, there is no any icebreaker. It will be of length between 5 to 7 minutes, and at 5 minutes, I'll be raising the green card, at the yellow, and then at 7, the red card. And then moving on to the table topic. Table topics will be taking more than 2 minutes, and at 1 minute, I'll be raising the green, at 30 seconds, I'll be raising the yellow card, and then at 2 minutes, I'll be raising the red card. And then for the last portion of our meeting, at 2 to 3 minutes, at 2 minutes, I'll be raising the green card, and at 30 seconds, I'll be raising the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will be raising the red card. At 2:30 seconds, I'll be raising the yellow, and at 3 minutes, I'll be raising the red card. So now we've used our time. What I expect from the meeting, I expect all members to not cause malice or overuse their time. Back to you, Toastmaster, the evening.
All right, thank you very much, Taima Yasin. Over to you, Wilson.
Oh, Madam President, thank you very much for stepping in. My network was shaky, but I hope I'll be okay till the end of the meeting. Our next role taker is our accountant. Is Ian here on this call? We have Ian on this call.
Mr. TMOD, I'm the accountant for the day.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you please tell us about a situation where you thought you were to blame before you tell us about your role? Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. A situation where I think I was to blame was a scenario where it was at my workplace where one of my colleagues, I was in charge of certain systems at the workplace and in charge of certain colleagues who are supposed to execute certain duties while I was working in the IT department. So while I was at it, there are certain critical systems that certain people are not supposed to access, only the managers are supposed to access those systems. So this time around, because I was tired and I felt I needed to hand over some things, I handed over these systems to this colleague of mine. And the second day after I'd handed over this system to this person, he goes ahead and messes it up and the systems just all shut down. And we were in a crisis. And I looked at this colleague, I was really angry with him, but deep inside, I felt like I was to blame because I shouldn't have handed over something of that nature that is very sensitive to somebody whom I thought had probably grown or matured enough to be able to handle, but it looks like this person needed a little more time. So that is a scenario where I felt I was to blame. In the long run, we had to get service providers, look for help and get people to recover the system, and it worked fine. However, we had to pay the price of downtime of about almost a full day and customers complaining. But at least I'm happy that we didn't encounter any financial loss at the time. So that's a scenario where I felt I was to blame. As the leader, I needed to take it up myself. So I just want to talk about my role as the accountant for the day. My name is Diana Akulu Wanyama. I am the treasurer from Kampala Toastmasters Club, and I am happy to be here as one of the role takers for Kampala Executives. So my role as the accountant is to note and keep track of words and sounds which are used as scratch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks during the meeting. So any use of inappropriate interjections such as and, well, so, like, you know, or are, I'll be looking out for those kinds of words. And I will take note of the words that have been mentioned. So throughout the meeting, I'll be listening in, looking out for the scratch words and pause fillers. So because these are words that are not really part of the sentence, they should not be used while we're making our speech. So I'll thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmasters of the day. At the end of this meeting, I'll give a report on how we have performed. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Diana Akulu, for explaining your role and also sharing that experience when you thought you were to blame. Great leaders always accept the blame and move on. Our next role taker is our table topics master, who is Alex Agaba from Kampala Toastmasters Club. Please, Alex, share your experience when you thought you were to blame before explaining your role. Over to you, Alex.
Hello, Wilson. Hello, Kampala Executive. Wow, Wilson, that's a table topic, and I thought I was a table topics master today, but I'll try. When was I to blame? Or usually I don't play blame games. That's my principle. And since I don't play blame games, I also don't receive blame. But I have to think hard when I was to blame. Wow. Such a terrible topic. Yeah, in life things never go as planned. You can never have your day planned out as much as you want it to. But let me see. Well, like today I was supposed to be here and there's no power. So my video can't be on because I'm in a blackout. So I'll blame Umeme. Yeah, that's one blame scenario I can get right now. And over to my role, I'll be your table topics master. That means I'll have a few topics for you. They could be in form of a question, or there could be a sentence, and I'll expect you to give a speech, a short speech of 1 to 2 minutes on my topic. Why do we do this at Toastmasters? Because, hey, in life, you'll be called upon, just like Wilson just called me to speak about a blame case, and I struggled with that one. So imagine it's outside Toastmasters, imagine it's at your workplace, imagine it's at a social event and you're called upon to give a toast. So yeah, that's why we do it here, so that you'll be ready when your chance comes. I'll be called upon when my time is ready, and I'm looking forward to this session. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Alex Agaba. I'm really surprised that you failed to find any situation where you thought you were to blame, because we make so many mistakes in life. But yes, well, sometimes people are very careful. I know you're one of those people who are very careful. Our next role taker is Hope Kansiime, who is our general evaluator. Please, Hope, share with us your story when you thought that you were to blame before you explain your role. Over to you, Hope.
Thank you, Wilson. The story that comes to mind is that in the last year, I finished my level 5, but in the system, it shows that I stopped at level 4. I know that it is my, I'm to blame because I never handed in the speeches in time so that the VP could tick me off. So last week I was trying to look for my speeches, trying to look for them so that the VP could actually tick me off, and I couldn't find them. I blamed myself for procrastinating and extending the submission of my speeches. And I'm at this point where I think I may have to redo them, because according to the Toastmasters website, I'm at level 4. And yet I actually went up to the next part, the icebreaker. So I am to blame because of procrastinating, submitting my speeches. So if there are any speeches you have not submitted, please do so. Otherwise, you'll be in the same place of regret like I am. This evening, I'm the general evaluator. And as the general evaluator, I'll be looking at how the meeting goes, how the roles are taken up, and everything that happens before the meeting, during the meeting. I will come after, I will give a report on each role taker and everything that has happened this evening. Thank you, and over to you, Wilson.
Thank you very much, Kansiime. You're such honest Toastmaster. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you very much for explaining your role this evening. I don't expect anything less from a top Toastmaster like you. This evening, we have only one prepared speech. Initially, we had around 6 speakers who were ready to speak, but due to the unforeseen circumstances, we've had all the speakers drop off. We don't blame them because life happens. We know that November is such a very hectic month. People are closing their year during this month, and hopefully they will be given a chance to speak next time. And that's why we didn't advertise this meeting vigorously, because we had lost most of our speakers. But I want to confirm that we're going to have a very exciting meeting. It's already an exciting meeting. Our speaker this evening comes from Tanzania. Is somebody who has a unique approach to speaking. I met him 2 months ago when I was there, Toastmaster of the evening, during their open house, area open house in Tanzania. His name is Antoine Woody. Antoine is going to attempt a speech from the social series, Accepting an Award. I had thought that I was going to evaluate Antoine, and I'm still ready to do that. But I want to find out from the audience who wants to evaluate a social speech. I can see some senior Toastmasters without roles. I can see my friend Deborah Askate and many others who would like to evaluate Antoine. All right, I'll go ahead and evaluate my guest, Antoine Woody. Antoine is attempting a social speech titled Accepting the Nobel Prize.
Excuse me, Wilson.
Yes.
Deborah has a hand up. Looks like she'd like to evaluate.
Hi, Toastmaster Wilson. I would really love to evaluate, although I'm on the road. I'm only 2 minutes away. So if you can be my backup evaluator, I can take the initiative to evaluate. Just in case my battery goes off, you step in kindly.
Okay, let me introduce Antoine, and then you can listen to his speech.
All right.
Antoine Woody is attempting a speech from the social series, and the title of the speech is Accepting the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize. Accepting Nobel Prize, Peace Prize, Antoine Woody.
I want to thank everyone here that will live in this memory for the days to come, and for all the wonderful leaders here at the Nobel Committee. I humbly accept this nominated prize on behalf of all those who started from nothing and became something, and as a reflection of what happens when we put the greater good of people first. Seeing others commit to infuse more peace in their life while uplifting the community is what keeps my heart beating and my blood pumping. When I was 5 years old, I remember waking up from a dream of winning a Nobel Peace Prize. When I ran downstairs to tell 4 of my siblings of the vision, I had, they all looked at me like I fell down the stairs and hit my head. I didn't understand why that dream felt so real, but now I know the big why. The feeling of creating a big change in our world literally shaped my life and the journey I took to arrive at this destination. Every one of us, you and I, we have the power to make a big change in the world. Literally, one smile, just one smile, can save someone or even make a baby. With that being said, I want to thank my wife and beautiful children for giving me reasons to become more patient and understanding. See, kids, all your pointless screaming did have a purpose. And to all my positive friends, thank you for always believing in me and holding me accountable. With your support, we have been able to move mountains and give back to millions of people. You all have bestowed faith in me the size of a mustard seed, and now that seed has turned into a forest that will bear harvests for future generations to come. I've always been inspired by the works of Martin Luther King, Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, the Dalai Lama, and the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali. And with this recognition, I am grateful to live in the history as a young soul who lit a match within and also ignited the flame of the youth. I live by a principle, and that principle is I need you, you need me, and together we can make our world, a more peaceful place. May all of you share my happiness. May all of you share my peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Antoine Woody. Your network was, but I struggled to hear some of the words that you said, but that was a fantastic speech. We shall find out from our evaluator later. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now the next session is going to be handled by our table topics master, Alex Agawa. It is table topics. Don't run away. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Wilson. Hello, once again, Toastmasters, especially Kampala Executive members. It's a time of that meeting where we practice our impromptu speaking. This only means that I'll give you a topic and you speak to it for 1 to 2 minutes. To show us how it's done, I'll pick on a Toastmaster and I'll quickly run through my list of attendees. Patricia Opio. This is a familiar name, so you must be a Toastmaster. Patricia, are you there? Patricia, can you hear me? Okay, not getting feedback from Patricia. I'll pick on looking through the participants.
There is a
Brenda,
hand raised, Alex. There is a hand raised.
Oh, yes.
Mary and Shamim.
Shamim, is that a hand up? Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Perfect. My choice of questions today are seasonal because it's November already, and November is that time of the year where you start accounting for the year and preparing to wind down the year. So my questions are really going to be around the end of year mood. So my first question, which goes to Shamim. Shamim,
Yeah.
what book have you read this year or would want to read before the year ends, and why?
Okay, I've read many books this year. I've been reading 2 books each month, not out of love, but because it was a requirement for the course I'm doing, for the leadership course I'm doing this whole year. So maybe I would want to repeat some of the books I have read. I read 5 Levels of Leadership. I feel like I need to redo it, and 15 Invaluable Roles of Growth. They are both by John Maxwell. Then there's a book which was not part of the course, but I read it and I left it halfway because it was causing me malaise. It was my mental health was being affected. Actually, there are 2. One is The State of Africa, which really examines all states of Africa after independence, pre-independence, and after independence. And that book really angered me because I see the repeat of history in our country right now. And then there's another book called Do Not Disturb. That one, I read it and left it halfway because my mental health was at stake. I am going back to read those books in December before the year ends. I have this anger. I need it to get out. I think those books, I need to get them out of my system. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master.
Wow, Shamim, great attempt. And I like that you protect your mental health. Mental health is real, people. You need to end your year with a proper mental health report card. Thank you, Shamim. Since people here are great volunteers, who would want to go for my second question? Any takers? Yes, there's a volunteer. Ian? Ian?
Yes, sir.
Please share with us your New Year's resolution for 2021 and how far you've gone in achieving it.
The year 2021 brought with it many hopes of waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning. That I haven't achieved yet. I'm still waking up at 6 in the morning because I have to do work a late night. It also brought with it a desire to do gym. I enrolled, actually. I was a member, I'd say, for 3 weeks only. After 3 weeks, I didn't have the desire anymore. I guess I'm going to be stuck with this body until maybe 2022, when I'll still have it in my New Year resolution to do gym, to wake up in the morning. And it also was in my list to read 100 books. I don't know, honestly, how many books I've read so far. Like Shamim, I'd say I have reread a couple, but 100 books I haven't read yet. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Wow, Ian. First of all, 4 a.m. is such an ambitious time to wake up. You want to try a less ambitious time? Join the 5 a.m. club. And about the 100 books, how about reading a chapter a day? Start from somewhere and maybe you get there. That would be a good plan. Next question. Do I have a hand? I saw a hand earlier and I know who you are. Do you have a hand? Yes, Yasin. Yasin, your question is, what place do you like to go to at the time of the year? What place do you like to go to at this time of the year and why?
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master of the evening. Me growing up, even up to now, I like watching a lot of frictional movies, even reading frictional novels. If it's not frictional, I like reading philosophy. And currently, I'm venturing in philosophy because I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to be told what to do, how life is going, how life is supposed to be. So I found philosophy very interesting in that in those books, all the philosophers don't always reach like a conclusion to tell you how to run your life. They give you a question and you need to think about it and then come about with your conclusion on how to conduct every aspect of your life. And most of the philosophy books I've been reading were written by people from ancient Greek, that is Rome. I feel if I have that opportunity to go to Rome at the end of the year would be great. I can't imagine sitting at those rocks where Socrates, where all those ancient guys used to sit and contemplate on issues around the world. I know if I can go to that place, I think I can even build up my own life. I feel like I'm excited even about the question. Over to you, Toastmaster. Over to you, Table Topics, Master of the evening.
Wow. Thank you, Yasin. I hope you're vaccinated and I hope you still have time to travel to your dream destination, which is out of Uganda. But hey, discover Uganda also. We have amazing places in and around the country. My next question, I'm going to ask it and then I'll pick on you. And I'm going to pick on anyone. So listen attentively because this session is supposed to test your active listening. I'm going to ask my question and then I'll pick on the person to speak to it. The next question is, what is your Christmas experience like? What is your Christmas experience like? Antoine?
My Christmas experience is probably more unique than others. I use the day to celebrate those who are around me by reminding them how much they mean to me and how meaningful the presence is in my life. In fact, the presence is worth more than any present that I could physically receive. I usually use that day to make a lot of food and enjoy coming together in community, as well as looking for opportunities to do random acts of kindness for other people. There's nothing better to me than to see someone's day uplifted from something they didn't expect. So, Christmas to me is a day of giving, sharing, and loving those who are around me.
All right. Thank you, Antoine. I kind of lost my network, but I mean, it's Christmas time and we all have unique experiences. And I'm going to ask a follow-up question on Christmas, the next participant. What's your Christmas carol? What's your Christmas carol? Marian Nampima. Marian Nampima, what's your Christmas carol? If Miriam won't take it, I'll pass it on to Owach Rita. Owach Rita.
Good evening. Can I be heard?
Yes, you are.
Okay, my Christmas carol is Joy to the World. I like it because it reminds me of the joy Christmas season brings, and generally it carries a joyful sense and environment around it. So yes, that is my Christmas carol. Thank you.
Wow, Joy to the World. Amazing. I love that carol because it's such a significance of what the Christmas season is. And yes, not to get into religious topics here, we'll stop at that. Thank you all much. Do I have time for extra questions, Mr. Timer?
Just one more.
Perfect, perfect. Because I want to ask this question. I used to be a movie addict until I learned better habits. And I actually had to unsubscribe from Netflix. But here we go. What's your Christmas movie? Or what's that movie you like to watch during the Christmas holiday? Brenda, are you there? Brenda, won't take it. What?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Let me try. Yeah, what's the question?
This question is, what's your Christmas or what's your holiday movie? What movie do you like to watch during the Christmas holiday?
Okay, that's an interesting one. I would say, and well, I'll confess here that one of my guilty pleasures is watching Hallmark movies. For those who are movie freaks, you know these movies, they love stories which when you start watching, you actually know how the movie is going to end. But for some reason, I always find myself looking out for them because they kind of like feel good movies. You're not on tension because, like for instance, the action movies where you're like, who's going to die next, or even the thrillers, which kind of keep you on your toes. So I feel like those kinds of movies, they give me peace. So those are kind of movies I watch. There's no particular movie that I always watch around that time, but you always find me watching movies of that genre around this time. So yeah, because Christmas is about merrymaking, it's about being happy, and they make me happy. So I always look out for those movies. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for attempting that question. I'll bite your noisy background. Thank you. Wow, fellow participants, it's been a pleasure taking you through this marathon of table topics. I loved all your questions. If I can give a little feedback, maybe, while we are still at it. During table topics, you have 1 to 2 minutes to give an answer to a question. So try to avoid making it a Q&A, question to answer. Give us a story. So if I ask you, what's your favorite book? Give us a story. Tell us, maybe once upon a time in my high school, I came across this wonderful book. Give us an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. If you're also smart enough, you can give us a call to action while at it. Otherwise, I love you guys for your wonderful attempt. Great being here at Kampala Executives. Back to you, Wilson.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Alex Agaba. I like the fact that you even educated us at the end of the table topics so that we can learn more about how we can attack them. It's never easy to attack table topics, but if we practice, we can always become better and better. Now, we had 5 speakers. We had Shamim Nyerere, we had Asiimwe, we had Antoine Woody, we had Rita, and Brenda Asiimwe. Please send your secret votes to Madam President Elizabeth Asiimwe. Thank you very much. And now, I would like to call upon Deborah Askate. Deborah, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Did you listen to Woody's speech?
I did, but I would appreciate if you could supplement the.
All right, go ahead and deliver your report about how he spoke.
All right. So Antoine, Woody, first of all, well done. I will not turn my video on for now. So well done to you. And first of all, for being so brave to be the only speaker this evening. I heard there's supposed to be 5 speakers, and for one reason or another, they did not come forward. So thank you very much for your boldness to go ahead and speak, even though you were the only speaker. When I had the topic, accepting the Nobel Prize, I was very expectant, and I thought, oh, are we having a Nobel Prize winner here? So I was very excited and looking forward. I was looking forward to your speech, and you did not disappoint. You had a structure. Your speech was very structured. It had a beginning, the content, the body was there, and the closure as well. When you're introducing your speech, you talked about when you're ambitious to win a Nobel Prize, and some of your friends or family were laughing, and basically use the phrase, it felt as they thought you could have dropped off the stairs, so to say. That was very powerful. And then your content was also rich. You said that you needed to do, sometimes you did not need to do so much. It could only be a smile. And the core of your content was that you need us and we need you. The Ubuntu concept basically was the core of your speech, I believe. And you also brought in personalities that you were looking up to. You also concluded by calling people to action and asked them to share your peace and your happiness. So thank you for giving your peace and happiness to us. We're very happy to share it. And personally, I'm going to share this peace and happiness with a few friends shortly. And so overall, great presentation, great pace, very audible as well. What could you have improved on? At Toastmasters, we believe that we only grow once we get feedback. And so I'd like to make some suggestions on areas for improvement. It could have introduced some quotes, I think, but more importantly, I think your network was a little bit, I thought it was my phone. I thought it, because I'm using a phone, I thought it was my network, but I think there were glitches in your network or your connectivity. I really like that you were using, what do you call that, a microphone. I really like that you were using a microphone. It's the first time I've seen it actually throughout Toastmasters, but I wonder if that could have contributed to the glitches during your speech. So I think next time you could try practicing prior to your speech. And yeah, I think you could also connect a bit more with the audience. I enjoyed your speech. Someone else might find it a little bit abstract. And so to bring the connection in with some sort of relating it to either some story. Yeah, so I think those are the only areas for improvement, just better network and some quotes perhaps, which we could easily relate to. And yeah, so well done to you. I really enjoyed your speech, and I look forward to hearing some more of your speeches at Kampala Executives. Well done, Antoine.
What is super evaluation? Thank you very much, Deborah Askate. You have to stop along your way to your home to evaluate our speaker. Thank you very much, Deborah. That is a true Toastmaster. And now I'd like to hand over the session to Hope Kansiime to introduce our role takers as they deliver their reports, after which she will also talk about how this meeting went. Over to you, Hope.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Wilson. Our accountant, Diana Akulu, are you ready to share your report with us?
Yes, I am.
Please go ahead, Diana.
Thank you very much, Madam President and Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Regarding my accountant role, I'd like to thank all the speakers of this evening's session. We have had quite a minimal use of R and some pause fillers. So that shows that people have been practicing. I'll just like to highlight a few areas where some people used pause fillers. We had scenarios where one of our table topics speaker had 3 R's. Shamim, when she was talking about the 5 levels of leadership, she used R three times. At least fine, they were there, but they were not that much. So I would suggest that maybe if you could just pause or swallow, take a deep breath and say what you have to say. Antoine, your pause word, you use a lot of is when you're talking about Christmas. So probably you could just say Christmas is a time when I enjoy A, B, C, and D. Brenda Asiimwe, you used so a lot. So Christmas is a time when I'm happy. So next time, if you could just pause or swallow and then just talk about the time when you had Christmas.
Diana, are you still? What?
Sorry, I've just gotten an interruption.
Thank you so much. I'm certain we'll read more of the report when you share it on the group. Thank you, Diana, for the report. I now welcome our grammarian, Shamim Nirere. Please let us know how we
Okay. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. I was honored to be the grammarian for today's meeting, and I'm happy to report that our meeting was free from any malaise feeling. Unfortunately, the word of the day was not used so much. We just got it used 3 times now, twice by myself and once in the chat by Diana Akuro. Well done on that. I would encourage you to use malaise more. And our grammar basically was really good. I did not find any incomplete sentences. I didn't feel any mispronounced words. I did not feel like we were struggling with grammar. So well done, Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. I loved the use of language, rich language. When our speaker, Antoine, was delivering his, another pause filler, was delivering his speech, and he alluded to the idea of feeling like dropping off the stairs. He felt like dropped off the stairs. I felt that was really a good use of language. All in all, I felt like we could use the word of the day more to incorporate it in our speeches. But thank you so much, Kampala Executives. That's my report for grammarian. We did not have any misused words. We did not have any words that were not appropriate. Thank you so much, General Evaluator, and I hand over to you.
Thank you, President. Thank you, grammarian. I'll now call upon our timer, Yasin. Please let us know how we are doing with time. Over to you, Yasin.
Thank you very much, Jen Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our dear guests. I'm trying to share something.
Okay.
Here we go. As at the beginning, I introduced what my role was going to entail. I was supposed to be more cautious on 3 parts: the formal speech, formal speeches, at the table topic, and evaluation. And I'm happy to report that, not happy, I'm amazed on how we used our time. And today we had only one speaker, Antoine. I believe this speech was supposed to be between 5 to 7 minutes, but he used 3 minutes, which was under time. Moving on to table topics, we had 5 speakers. We had Shamim, who was supposed to take 2 to 3 minutes, and she used 2 to 15 seconds. She was within her time. Well done, Shamim. And we had Yasin, myself, despite the fact that I was giving the table topic, or I was delivering a table topic, I had to time myself. And I used 2 to 30 seconds, which was still within time. And then we had Antoine. Antoine used 1 minute and 05 seconds, still, which was within the time. And then it was within the time. And then we had Rita. Rita used 40 seconds, which was below the time. We had Brenda, who used 50 seconds, which was still below the time. And then our evaluator, Deborah. Deborah did very well. She consumed exactly 3 minutes. And well done to all the speakers. And for those who didn't consume or utilize fully their time, maybe you can get comments from the evaluator, from the general evaluator, the table, or like what Agaba shared, and see on how to improve, so that next time you can over consume your time, or you can be within time. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Yasin. Thank you for the report. I will now launch into my report as a general evaluator. I want to congratulate every role taker this evening, our speaker. Thank you for gracing this meeting and for making our Friday one full of knowledge. Our president, you welcomed us well and warmly at entry. I remember when I entered the meeting, you were welcoming person by person. Thank you for that warmth. You also opened the meeting and welcomed all. You kept welcoming us using the chat. That was going beyond. Thank you for being warm and welcoming, Madam President Elizabeth Asiimwe. You read the mission. That's starting off well and professionally like we should. You also continued the meeting when the Toastmaster of the day dropped off due to network. So thank you for being ready to jump in and multitask. What I would recommend in this area is that we need to start on time. We started 12 minutes late, so we can devise means to see how we can start on time in our next meeting. We need to engage role takers so that they are on time, because at 6:30 when we should have started, some role takers were not yet on time and we're still waiting for them. We also need to share a meeting link in addition to the meeting ID and password, especially on the group and especially on the day of the meeting. When I was trying to join the meeting, I was having challenges with using the ID and password and I couldn't find the link. So yes, the password and the ID work, but the link makes it easier. I've realized that because every time I share a poster with guests, they ask me for a meeting link. I also recommend that we have dry runs before the meeting. According to our agenda, at 5:45, we're supposed to test our microphones. But at past 6:30, we're still testing our microphones, time when we should have begun the meeting. So those are the recommendations in regard to starting the meeting. Our Toastmaster of the day, Wilson Asiimwe, thank you so much. You took us through with calmness. I love that you shared your experience in the beginning and we learned a lot from it. Thank you for welcoming and engaging the audience on the theme. You took us through excellently and you're still taking us through. You have expounded on the theme in various ways, including sharing your story, among others. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I also love that you have engaged the role takers to share their experiences and expound on the theme. Thank you for that. My recommendation for the Toastmaster of the day is that regarding engaging the role takers, it would be best to tell them so that they prepare. You could tell them that when I call upon you to introduce your role, you will take a minute to tell us about the theme. That will save on time because they will come prepared on what they are going to share about. I think I was lucky because I was the last to be called upon, but after the role taker before me, I was thinking, what should I share? Where have I blamed myself recently? And I also realized other role takers were also taking time to think about it. So you could engage them way before so that they know they will share and they prepare what to share. It would also be good to engage the role taker regarding how you will share the roles and also for them to be ready to take on the meeting in case of any network issues. In regard to the roles, for example, in some meetings, the general evaluator will share the report without calling on role takers, while in others, they call on role takers. For my case, when you call the evaluator, I thought that I will now come in to give a report. I imagine that you're going to call on the rest of the role takers. So it would be good to have that sorted so that you're on the same page with the general evaluator. Otherwise, well done, our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you for taking us through even with the network. You kept bouncing back. Thank you for that. Our accountant, Diana, well noted your role. Give us a report on how we use the pause fillers. You explained your role well. Thank you and well done. Table topics, Alex. I explained the role. You gave us a hint on what we should expect. That was questions regarding the end of the. That was good. Your questions were open-ended and easy for people to answer and to read the story. I also love that you read the mood of the room. When you got the first volunteer, you called upon more volunteers. And even with that, you still picked on others impromptu. So you did not go with one method. That was good. I also love that you left us with table topics tips when you're leaving. At the end of your session, when you are going, you still left us with tips. Thank you for that education tips. What I would recommend, I don't know if I missed this, but you could remind us of the rules at the time of when your session starts. So before your session, when Wilson called you, you told us about table topics, but when you came for the session, you could have taken a second to remind us of the rules and the time that we should take to speak, that is 1 to 2 minutes. The tips would have also worked well if you had given them to us before so that we can engage with them in the table topics. Otherwise, well done. That was an engaging session. Alex, our grammarian Shamim, you elaborated on the explanations about the word of the day. You really, I love that you shared the word over and over in the chat over 3 times. You shared it before on the group of Kampala Executive WhatsApp group. You really engaged us on the word. It is unfortunate that people did not use it much. Thank you for the detailed reports. What I would recommend is that the choice of word should be a word that can easily be used in everyday conversation. So the word you chose, the meaning is feeling sick. It is not, I feel like it's a limiting word because that means that if someone is not going to talk about anything regarding sickness, they may not use it. So I felt that the word was limiting in its use since it was limited to maybe feeling sick. So you can get a choice of word which can be engaged in everyday conversations. Otherwise, I loved how you shared the word of the day over and over. Thank you for that. Our evaluator, Deborah, thank you for jumping and getting the bull by the horns. You jumped in as an evaluator. That was exciting. True Toastmaster spirit, true service. Well done. Detailed feedback. You were empathetic. The actions were specific, so well done. You used the sandwich method. And I love that you took it on, even when you are not prepared to take it on. That was good. A reminder to ask the time that the speaker used so that they know if they were overtime or undertime. It would also be good to remind the participants about the objectives of the speech before giving the report for easy following of the audience. Our speaker, thank you for visiting us in Kampala. Thank you for inspiring us and reminding us to share our pieces of happiness. Our timer, Yasin, you explained the role and how we would perform it. You are detailed. You shared the timer cards in time, and I loved your report. You didn't just say your report, you shared it, you showed it to us. Well done, timer Yasin. Recommendation, when you're renaming, please remember to put your full name for easy identification. Otherwise, great work, dear members and role takers. What a way to utilize a Friday evening. I commend the leaders and the role takers of this club meeting for ensuring that the meeting happens, even with the various challenges, with the speakers dropping out. You could have postponed it, but you said it must happen. True Toastmaster spirit. Well done to the leaders of this club. Please, the last recommendation is to ensure the sergeant at arms is present to open the meeting and carry on any other tasks as they should. Otherwise, great meeting. Leaders, let's devise ways to popularize the meeting to attract more members and guests to this club. I believe this club has potential just by the name, Kampala Executives. People, I have met guests who say they want to join Kampala Executives because they are executives. So I'm just saying that let's devise ways to popularize this meeting so that many people are part of this and they can benefit. Thank you so much for this exciting meeting. Well done, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Asiimwe Wilson.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hope Kansiime. It is evident that you are experienced, and I'm sure that the leaders of the club, including myself, are going to take into consideration your comments to ensure that we hold better meetings next time. This is the lowest meeting in terms of numbers, because when you lost most of our speakers, we decided not to advertise it vigorously. We always had 40 members and above, and I'm sure next time we're going to have a lot of members attending our club meeting. Thank you very much, Hope. I agree with you that we need to improve so many things that should have done better this time, but yes, life happens and we have to move on. Overall, I've enjoyed this meeting. It's been a very exciting meeting. I learned a lot from my role takers, their experiences, the table topics, and of course, our only speaker, Antoine Woody. As I hand over to our president, I'd like to share 3 things that I've been doing to ensure that I don't make the same mistake. Number 1, we need to scrutinize the people that we associate. I never used to do that. I made so many mistakes. For about 15 years, I used to have people who were just interested in letting me down until I had to learn from that experience. Number 2, we need to accept things that we can't change. When you accept things that you can't change, you easily move on and succeed elsewhere. And the last one, when we reflect on the mistakes that we've made, we're able to learn from those experiences and be able to make better decisions in the future. It is so difficult for anyone to confuse me. Now, after going through those experiences. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, Wilson, for taking us through an exciting evening. And as the general evaluator has mentioned, it is a Friday evening well spent. Sincere thanks to the speaker of the evening, Antoine, who has unfortunately dropped off. And again, like the evaluator commended him, he was courageous to speak this evening, and we thank him so much in his absence. I thank the roll takers, the hour counter, the timer, the table topics master, and all that have taken roles of speaking during this event. We thank you so much, and we thank you for spending your evening with us. I cannot forget to thank you, Wilson, in a special way. When 6 speakers dropped off, it was a challenging moment, but we got the courage to move on, and we are happy that it has gone well by all means. And as per Toastmasters International recommendations, it is a fully fledged meeting. Thank you so much, Wilson. And for the wise counsel all through. By way of club business, at this time, I would like to call for any announcements from the executive committee members. We have Toastmaster Frank Kavuma, who is our club secretary, and Toastmaster Wilson Asiimwe, who is the club treasurer. Over to you, Frank. Frank, anything from your end? Okay, if there's nothing from your end, Wilson, you may want to share from your desk.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to thank all the members who renewed their membership. Our club is now one of the top clubs in our division with more members than the ones we had before. I still want to urge you to renew your membership, especially those who are going to contest. We are now in this contest season, and we know that you must be in good standing before you contest. Otherwise, I'd like to urge you to attract more members to join our club, because we have a big future. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, our dear club treasurer, Wilson Asiimwe. And building on what you said, members, this is a contest season, and we encourage all of you to sign up for these contests, and we grow together. I would like to announce the winner today in the table topics category. And as per the guidelines, we go by the majority vote. We got only 1 vote from you, the voters. And the one who voted Shamim Nirere. Congratulations, Shamim. We see you've dropped off, but we will send you your certificate. I'd like now to have 2 to 3 minutes, open up the meeting to our guests, to our visiting Toastmasters, to share some experiences on how this meeting has gone, and building on what has been shared by the general evaluator. If you have some feedback, it is very welcome before we close. It is open, whoever wants to share can share. And we have a maximum of 3 minutes.
Hello.
Hello, Rita.
Yes. Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Rita, and I am a guest here. I would just like to share my experience. I have learned a lot. It has been a very uplifting session, and I'm looking forward to attending more meetings. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a blessed weekend.
To joining us.
You're very welcome, Rita. And please, before you leave, kindly leave us your contact. I'm telling you, Toastmasters is the best place to be. Please
Okay, I'm
join
going
us.
to put it in the chat.
All right, please do. We'll follow up with you with more information on when we meet and more about Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Alex, would you like to say something?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Great session. I like that the meeting happened. I wasn't aware that there were challenges. I just knew I had a role and I just logged in. I'm glad it happened because I prepared my questions. Imagine it hadn't happened. So yeah, good spirit.
Thank you. Thank
The
you
show
so
has
much.
to go on. You can't even do a table topics marathon and it will be a wonderful meeting. Yeah, well done.
All right, thank you, thank you. We are energized and we thank you very much for showing up and for the support. Diana, would you like to say something?
Yes, I am very glad to have joined this meeting. I actually admire you. I admire the resilience. And it also didn't occur to me that there were other speakers, but I like the fact that you still continued. And even when there were some challenges, you know, you were able to step in. So I really applaud you for that. And I like the lessons that the Toastmaster of the day shared, that you accept the things that you can't change and just move on. So I like that fact that he shared tips, we have learned, we have taken part in the roles, and yeah, let's grow together. And well done, Kampala Executives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana. We appreciate your support and thank you for showing up. Over to Mombasa, member Ian Githu. Githu, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Elizabeth. Thank you, Diana Akulu, for taking up the chance to become the accountant. I was scheduled to be the accountant, but I missed. Sorry about that. Thank you.
I took your blessing.
And you carried it well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ian, for the remarks and for showing up. I see our area director, Timothy Kavma, on the call. Timothy, would you like to greet us? As Timothy prepares, we can hear from Frank. Frank, we know you're in the field, but in case you have a chance, please say hello and tell us your experience. Okay, we can hear from Bet Chip Holdings. I guess this is Paul Lewis. Paul, please unmute and say hello.
Hello, Madam President. I'm glad to be on the call. Yeah, it's quite a time, a while, and I've really learned a lot from the Toastmaster of the day. Actually, I got something for the weekend, and it has to keep us moving. Basically, we shall continue moving, and I hope I won't miss any other meetups for the Toastmasters. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Paul, for the remarks. And as we wrap it up, Timothy, in case you're on, you may greet us and we end the meeting.
I'm here, Madam
in less
President.
than 1 minute.
All right, thank you very much. And good evening to everyone, Toastmasters and guests that have participated in this meeting. I just want to applaud the club for exhibiting tenacity and making sure that this meeting really happened. And I am happy to learn that the members that joined in have learned something. Looking forward to the next meeting, to the speech contests. Over to you, Madam President.
All right, thank you very much, Timothy, for the kind words and for encouraging all of us to shoulder on. Talking about contests again, our next meeting will be a club contest, and this will take place on the 26th of November this year. We invite all of you to participate. Without further ado, I would like to end this meeting. Thank you and good evening. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice
Thank you, Madam
Bye-bye.
President.
Thank you. Bye.
This has been a fantastic meeting, despite the fact that we didn't have many speakers.